Hey, this is Paul. Welcome back to the Mountain Man Chronicles. Today's video is about what we can do to lower our footprint to make less of an impact on the trails and the places that we go as overlanders. Have you ever been across a trail or been to a campsite that you've been to before that you absolutely love and had it closed? And sit there and say, wow, I wish this wasn't closed, and wonder what you could have done in the past to keep it from being closed or keep access from being limited? So I hope to go over and answer those questions for you today. So I hope you enjoy the video. Please have to remember at the end, please like and subscribe. Tell me what you learned. Tell me one tidbit of information that you pulled from the video. I'd love to learn. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the end. Welcome to the Mountain Man Chronicles, where the spirit of adventure comes alive. I'm thrilled to have you join our journey into the great outdoors. I'm Paul Piazza. I'm your guide through the wilderness and the storyteller behind the Mountain Man Chronicles. I hope you share in our love and appreciation of what this great world has to offer. Here we live in three simple principles: live, learn, and explore. Live, immerse yourself in the thrill of the moment, whether it be overlanding, exploring unique ghost towns, or simply enjoying the serenity of nature. We believe in living life to its fullest. Learn. Cultivate that childlike curiosity. Every adventure is an opportunity to learn and discover something new. From overlanding trips to mastering trail navigation, we're a constant journey of learning and growing. Explore. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Venture into the unknown. Our chronicles are a testament to the places we've been and the stories waiting to be untold. Join us as we explore the hidden trails, the pristine lakes, and the mysterious places this great nation has to offer. And of course, what adventure would be successful without proper planning and the right gear? We'll be showcasing some of the tools of the trade along our journeys. I truly hope you enjoy our chronicles and the journey that my wife and I travel through during our overlanding adventures. Thanks for watching. So in this series, we're going to cover T.R.E.A.D. And T.R.E.A.D. stands for the principles of tread lightly. The principles of T.R.E.A.D. are very important. And they are: travel responsible, respect the rights of others, educate yourself, avoid sensitive areas, and do your part to keep our trails open. Today, we're going to focus on the first of the T.R.E.A.D. principles, and that's the travel responsibility part. Now, Tread Lightly is all about responsible outdoors, and it's all about keeping the trails open for all of us, making less of an impact. I like to think of it as footprints in the sand. The less we can make the footprints on the environment around us, everything from campfire pits to areas of the roads, the less reasons we have to close down anything that we've done, and we keep trails open for the future. Many of you probably heard about Utah and some of the areas where the government's starting to close down the BLM land, affecting places like Moab. My hope is maybe somebody will get one piece of information from this video that help them out, and we can follow the Tread Lightly principles. Tried to break it down into three easy sections that we're going to cover under the travel responsibility part of this video that we're going to do. Next one, we'll talk more about the respect the outdoors. That will be the next part of the video that we watch in our next video series, which will be next week. All right, so I've broken this out into three different principles. And my three core areas that I'm going to cover today is: one, travel responsibility, making sure that we keep the trails open, lower our impact. Number two is just making sure we're staying on designated routes and where we're supposed to go. And the last one is understanding the proper techniques when you are off-roading and when you're out exploring and what you can do about them. So what we're going to do is go into those three techniques in this video. As I've mentioned several times, my three principles of overlanding. The first one is stay on designated routes. You know, as I plan out my trips, I try to plan on designated routes, places that I know that are traveled. Doesn't mean you can't take side roads and go explore them, right? If they're paths that you see that you know they've been traveled, take them. You know, even if they're a little bit older, it's okay. If it's a path that's open and that it's designated, it's okay. I love to explore like the next guy. What I don't want to do is I don't want to go plow through a middle of a beautiful area. An example I could give you is up on Highway 4, there's a lot of little trails, and there's one trail that goes in the backcountry that opens up this area, that cabbage patch, and it really refers to me. If you've ever seen The Wizard of Oz and the poppies during the springtime, it was beautiful. What happened was some UTVs and areas drove through these poppies, and all of a sudden there was trail marks right through the middle of them. And that is not a trail. A trail is a designated area, usually marked by Forest Service or marked by something else. I try to stay on those because I don't want to have the impact of somebody driving along and saying, look, they're destroying the poppies. Now I have a reason to go close the trail. So stay on designated trails is a very important area for area number one. Now you can do that using some of the apps out there. I use Onyx. I use a few others to help me find trail paths, but oftentimes I'll see side trails and I'll go explore myself. I recommend doing that. That's fun, but you also want to stay in an area where you're going to lower the impacts. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, the feet in the sand. I always try to remember that. It's one of the principles I try to live through as I go through the trails. My other one is, I just mentioned along with that same story, is try to be sensitive to the impact on nature that you're having. That same story with making an impact on the flora of the area was very disappointing because you wrecked a beautiful view. They impacted it for everybody. But that means everything down to the critters that are around you, cleaning up your campsites, whatever. It's really important for us to pay attention to the flora, to Mother Nature, and leave it better than what we found it. I think, that's really, really important. So it doesn't mean just picking up trash. You say, oh yeah, I pick up stuff in my campground. I hear that all the time. What else do you do? Are you trying to minimize your impact by not going through deep, muddy ruts and trying to make those worse? Are you doing your part into joining a club and doing some trail cleanup? I used to be part of, when I lived in California, part of Getting Off Four-Wheel Drive Club. We would go clean the Sourgrass Trail twice a year, to lower the impact on it, make it so. We'd work with the forest ranger in the local areas to do that. I recommend finding a club, finding a group to do that. Again, Tread Lightly has programs like that. I'm lucky to work for a company that allows us to have 80 hours a year to give back. And as long as it's with something like that, that's a nonprofit, we can use it. So I take advantage of doing two things I love. Going outside and working on a trail, wheeling a little bit, and also I get paid for it. So find something you like to do. Do it on your own weekend if you want to. But lower our impact and give back to Mother Nature is a great way to make an impact on that. The last one, I'm going to kind of put in a bucket list of two. Tools and techniques. Make sure you have the right tools and make sure you understand the proper techniques. In the old days, I've ran across several people that have tied winches around trees, left a big scar, used anchors or dug big holes in the ground so they can get around it, moved big rocks around, cut down trees that didn't need to be cut down because they had limbs that were falling over. I'm not a fan of that. I accept that if I go through a tight trail, my car is going to get pinstriped. I accept that if I'm going to have to winch off a tree, which happens, I get it, it happens, but make sure you have the right tools. I use tree straps. I use the proper tools around that to make my impact to nature less. And that means everything from tools to techniques. If you come across a big river crossing, which are cool to go through, I love doing that, and here's an image of me doing it, I would recommend that you think twice before doing that. Make sure it's on a designated route and that you're doing it during a time where it's safe and you know you can pass through and you're going to make less of an impact on the environment around you. There was a trail in Highway 4 that's been closed for about 20 years. And the reason why they closed is, one, it went through private property, which we'll talk about in the next segment. But it also, people were starting to cross the Stanislaus River through it and digging it out and making that, and eventually they destroyed a lot of the campground there, or the campsite there, and they had to close the trail. The trail was epic, probably one of my favorite trails. It was hard, it was deep, you got to camp on the river in a very remote spot. No longer you've been able to do that because of the way people treated the environment around them by scarring the wilderness, going through people's private property, and just making it less enjoyable. So those are the three principles I look at for this part of the video. I hope, as we travel responsible through our adventures, we can all lessen our footprints in the sand and make a bigger impact. Now, I'm not trying to make this videos to be preachy. I struggled making this video for that reason, but I do enjoy overlanding, four-wheel drive, exploring, and I want my kids to be able to enjoy it in the future, so I think I have to complete this video. It was interesting as I was going through this process. I was struggling with, God, I don't want to make a preachy video about it. But then I was out exploring over the weekend and I saw one of my favorite spots got blocked off and because of environmental damage. So it was like, okay, I have to make this video. So I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, share your nuggets that you get from the video from it. Share them with me, or some tips that you want to give. Put them in the comments. I'll publish it. I'll follow it up in my next video and provide the feedback and give a shout out to you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.